Waamma man khafat muwazeenohu, the meaning of Waamma, but as for the meaning of man, whose, the meaning of khafat are light, the meaning of mawazinohu, his scales, the meaning of the ayah, but as for one whose scales are light, or but he whose scales weigh lighter, or but as for him whose deeds are light on scales, and for those whose balance of good deeds are light. The word mawazin in the original can be plural of mauzun as well as of mizan. In the first case, mawazin would imply the deeds which might have some weight in the sight of Allah and be thus worthy of appreciation. In the second case, mawazin would imply scales of a balance. In the first case, the meaning of mawazins being heavier or lighter is that the good deeds will be heavy or light as against the evil deeds. For in the sight of Allah, only good deeds have any weight and worth. In the second case, the meaning of mawazins being heavy is that the scales of the good deeds will be heavier than the scales of the evil deeds in Allah Almighty's balance of justice, and their being light means that the scale of good deeds will be lighter than the scales of evil deeds. Besides, in Arabic idiom, the word mizan is also used for weight, wazan. Accordingly, the weights being heavy or light implies the good deeds being heavy or light. In any case, whether mawazin is taken in the meaning of mauzun or of mizan or of wazan, the intention remains the same, which is that the basis of judgment in the divine court will be whether the provision of the deeds that a man has brought is weighty or weightless, or whether his good deeds are heavier than his evil deeds are lighter. This theme has occurred at several places in the Holy Quran, which explains the full meaning. In Surah Al-Araf, it is said in ayah number 8, وَالْوَزْنُ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْحَقُّ فَمَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And the weighing of the deeds that day will be the truth. So those whose scales are heavy, it is they who will be successful. In ayah number 9 of Surah Al-Araf, it is Allah says, وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يَظْلِمُونَ. And those whose scales are light, they are the ones who will lose themselves for what injustice they were doing towards our verses. On that day, the weight will be identical with the truth. Accordingly, those whose scales will be heavy will alone come out successful, and those whose scales are light will be the ones who will have incurred loss upon themselves. In Surah Kaf, in Ayat number 103, Allah says, Kul hal nunabbiukum bil aksarina amala. Say, O Muhammad, shall we believers inform you the greatest losers as to their deeds? And in Surah Kaf, Surah number 18, verse number 104, Allazina dalla sayuhum fil hayati dunya wa hum yakhsabuna annahum yuhsinun suna. They are those whose efforts is lost in the worldly life while they think that they are doing well in the work. Similarly, in Surah Kaf, ayat number 105, Allah says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِنَا رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِمْ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِ فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. Those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and in their meeting with Him. So their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any importance. O Prophet, say to them, Should we tell you who are the most unsuccessful people and miserable failures in regard to their deeds? They are those whose all endeavors in the worldly life had gone astray from the right way, but they were under the delusion that everything they were doing was rightly directed. These are the people who rejected the revelations of their Lord and did not believe that they were ever go before him or meet him. Therefore all their deeds were lost, for we will assign no weight to them on the day of resurrection. Similarly, in Surah Anbiya, Surah number 21 and Ayat number 47, Allah says, وَنَدَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَلَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا وَإِنْ كَانَ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ آتَيْنَا بِهَا وَكَفَى بِنَا حَاسِبِينَ. And we place the scales of justice for the day of resurrection, so no soul will be treated unjustly at all. And if there is even the weight of a mustard seed, we will bring it forth, and sufficient are we as accountant. On the day of resurrection, we will set up justice and accurate balances so that no one will be wronged in the least in any way, even it be an act of equal in weight to a grain of a mustard seed. We will bring it forth to be weighed, and we suffice for reckoning. These verses show that kufr and denial of the truth is in itself such a stupendous evil that it will certainly lower the scales of evils, and there will be no good act of the disbelievers which may have any weight in the scale of good deeds, so that its scale of goodness may become heavy. However, in the scales of the believers, there will be the weight of the faith as well as the weight of the good deeds which he performed in the world. On the other hand, every evil done by him will be placed in the scales of evil deeds, and then it will be seen whether his scale of good deeds is heavier or his scale of evil deeds.